Technique number 3 in the Purple Belt Kenpo Karate for Christ curriculum is 5 swords. Now this is a very popular technique. This is probably everybody's favorite one. In a lot of ways it's probably my favorite. It'll probably be your favorite once you've seen it. It just flows really, really well. And it's one of those techniques that if you've reached the point where you've learned this one, it becomes your favorite. And even if you drop doing Kenpo at some point in your life, it's one of them that you just never forget. 5 swords is just kind of a classic Kenpo staple technique here. Regardless of what branch of Kenpo people study, whether they're Parker guy, whether they're Tracy's guy, no matter what, how about that 5 swords? You always have that as a point of reference to talk about. Everybody knows 5 swords, and it's just common in the world of Kenpo. That's a favorite as well. The attack on this one's a right roundhouse punch, and we've seen left roundhouse punch we saw in our yellow belt technique. Our first punch attack was a roundhouse punch, one of these haymakers. So now we're going to look at the right hand doing the same thing, stepping in and doing this looping haymaker punch. And once again, the fastest point on this is that fist is moving on the outside of the circle. But the closer you get to the center of that circle here, where that circle's starting here in the hips or even in the shoulder of the body, things aren't moving as quickly there, right? It's not as dangerous there. Whether you get out of range altogether and they can't reach you, that's safe. Or if you can get inside the circle that's being created by the fist, you'll be within the range where it's not quite as powerful. It's not moving quite as fast. And that's what 5 swords does. It's going to advance straight in on that circle. So as that arc is being made here, and again the attack's off the right hand here, boom, as it's coming in to this side, it'll be coming, attacking you. If you're facing the opponent, it'll be on your left side that the attack's coming in. So I'm going to advance with my right, and as I do, I'm going to lift both arms up. I'm doing an inward block, and it's like I'm doing a vertical outward block with the other hand here. We put both arms up together though, receiving that force there. Again, it's a haymaker, it's a powerful punch, it's got a lot of weight, not a very specific punch, but they're utilizing all their weight in that process. So we're going to buffer that punch, receive that punch with both arms in this case, creating a shield here with both hands as you step forward. So that's step 1. I'm going to step in, boom, and just drop my weight down into that neutral bow, right side neutral bow, and both hands come up to protect myself. Now from here, immediately, I'm going to outward sword hand. That's the first of, well, if your hands are open here from the set, you almost have 2 right there from the get-go out of the 5. So I'm going to step in, forearm shield here, using sword hands already loaded, and immediately follow with an outward sword hand to the throat there. So block, chop. And you've seen this idea all the way back to our delayed sword. Hands up, so it comes out for an outward. This time we're using it defensively and then offensively. This is our follow-up here. So counter move, outward hand sword to the throat, immediately followed by palm strike to the chin here. And we talked about in the last technique, snapping twig, how it's possible to move faster than they have time to respond to. But some of those moves that move in conjunction can happen pretty quickly together. And the first 3 moves here from, well, 4 if you count the block, from the block to the hand sword to the palm strike, and then to the next move can happen pretty quickly there. But you're going to have to give a beat after this next move. There's no reason I have to wait for a response from this hand sword before I can slam the chin with the palm strike. I can go right into it. So that much, boom, can happen pretty quickly. Now from here, I'm forward bow again. I'm going to shift back to neutral bow, and as I do it from this palm strike, I'm going to do an thrusting uppercut to the stomach. The other hand wants to cross chamber high here. I don't want to pull it back this way as I do the uppercut. This is setting up my next move by staying up high, as well as his head coming forward. It's just good to have that, again, defensive position there if he were to counterattack or reach in to grab. I've got something to work with controlling this space here. So after you do the palm strike, you're going to reach across and cover this high area as I uppercut with the right to the stomach there. And they're bending forward. Again, all of that can happen pretty quickly. Boom. But here, I need to give time for a response once you hit the stomach. I can't go right into the next move. Though it's easy to do quickly, you've got to give them time to get hit and come forward. And as they do, my next move is I want to move out of the way. I hit them in the stomach. They're bending down. I don't want to receive a headbutt accidentally as you hit them in the stomach. So I'm going to get out of their line, their direct path, with a rear cross with the left here. And as I do this rear cross, getting myself out of the way, my left hand's going to come up, an outward sword hand to the side of their throat as they're bending down. Here we hit the neck, and I'm grabbing behind the neck to bend them down. Right? That's step 4 there. And as I bend them down level, this arm's going to orbit high, and I'm hitting with the hand sword behind the head to that soft spot. Soft spot right there. Top of the neck, bottom of the skull, right there. Soft areas where I want the bottom of my hand to fit in. Boom. And really dropping the weight on this. I don't want to shortchange this circle. I want to make a big motion and really utilize my weight sinking into that as I drop that hand sword down. Vertical hand sword, but it's toward our 9 o'clock here. And then that will set up our cover out. Our cover out, instead of going towards 6, my opponent here as he's in front of me, but I'm facing 9, I'm going to cover out to 3. Because I want to go away from my opponent. I want to get distance there. So that's the direction I'm going to leave, is out to 3 o'clock. So again, 5 swords. Say 1 and 2 right here. 3 is the hand sword here. 4, the palm strike, punch. Sorry, this would count as 1. 1, 2, 3. The punch doesn't count, but then 4 bends them down, and that's our 5 out of our 5 swords. Again, you can move real fast with it. It's good to train it fast, just for, getting the hand speed down. But then don't make that what you practice for the sake of your muscle memory. For the muscle memory, most of your practice needs to give a beat on this. This part here can be fast, but I need to give a second for him to bend forward. And then bring him down, finish with that hand sword. So the timing on the whole thing would be here, and then full cover out, getting our distance. One more time, 5 swords, steps up, shield, hand sword, palm strike, uppercut, bend them down, hand sword behind the head, full cover out goes to 3 o'clock to get your distance. That's 5 swords. Hope that's your favorite. It's one of mine. That's number 3 out of purple belt.